Hey guys, what's going on? My name is TriTunn and welcome back to another Destiny gameplay video. Today I'm going to be talking about what I would like to see in the next Destiny weapon balance update, which hopefully we'll be getting in the next month or so, seeing as though it was just mentioned in the recent This Week at Bungie. We're going to start off by talking about primaries, and specifically I'm going to be talking about my personal favorite exotic in the game, and that is Hawkmoon. Currently Hawkmoon is still a viable gun, but only really on close range maps because there really isn't a reason to use it over something like the Vendor Palindrome or an IS Luna with rifle barrel. I'd like to see Hawkmoon return to being a competitive weapon, and this is how I think we could do that without it returning to its former Year 1 dominance. And it's simple. Buff the base range of Hawkmoon to allow it to come close to the range cap of 62. With these stats, it would give Hawkmoon about the same stats as the Lord High Fixer with rifle barrel. Also, I believe that Hawkmoon should be able to 2-tap with Luck in the Chamber proc like other weapons in its impact class. And while we're on the topic of hand cannons, I would like to see a reduction in bloom. Not the removal, but a reduction. I like the mechanic, and I don't want a return of Year 1 with hand cannons obliterating people from across the map. But I think the cone is too severe. You shouldn't punish players for being accurate. What the current state of Bloom is doing is putting RNG into the formula for gunfights when it comes to hand cannons. Make it so range drop-off is more prevalent rather than punishing accuracy. Next up, I'd like to talk about what would probably be considered as an overall rebalancing of pulse rifles. And the big thing is, we need to make the range stat matter. Make the Clever Dragon feel like it's flicking pebbles at range and allow things like Red Death to hit like a truck, but still allow them to hit hard up close as well, which would force you to be accurate versus something like a Clever Dragon or a Hawksaw, which have higher rates of fire and can put out more damage faster. Now for auto rifles, specifically the lower rate of fire, I think a 5% to 10% buff of the Shadow Price / Surus Regime and Vision Stone or Monte Carlo archetypes should be given. I want all guns to be competitive, and I enjoy seeing variety in the game. It's what makes it fun for me, and I don't think variety could ever be a bad thing. Scouts, I think, are in a good spot and should be generally left alone. Now for special weapons, starting with shotguns. And I know there's been a lot of complaints about them, but they're fine. They work at the intended ranges and are, and the keyword is consistent at the intended range. Now that the elephant in the room is taken care of, now for sidearms and fusions. Again, they're fine. No need to mess with what isn't broken. Both are great options for combating shotgun warriors and specifically Jug Shield. And now for snipers. As a sniper main, you might think I have a massive list of changes so that they dominate the crucible again, but I don't. But I do have some buffs that I would like to throw into the conversation. First, handling. I think the sniper handling buff made a few months back was far too severe, and it forces snipers to play far too passive, and it forces people to use perks like quick draw on your sniper just so you have a chance on some of the smaller maps in the game because there's an emphasis on close quarters combat. Finding spots to use a sniper rifle can be challenging sometimes. So I think the handling should return to its former state, and with that, snapshot as well. With the handling nerf and the snapshot nerf, you're forcing people to use quick draw on their snipers unless they're a warlock with Ophidian aspects or a blade dancer hunter. I don't think you should force players to use certain perks in order to be successful with the gun they like. But I am, however, fine with the flinch. I think that it puts snipers in a good spot where they need to pick their battles a little bit better and can still compete with some pulse rifles at range. And that's all for weapons. Now I'm going to be talking about some perks and subclass changes. First off, high caliber rounds. There needs to be a cap at which each bullet can flinch. The flinch should be relative to range as well. The further away you are from the person shooting you, the less flinch. The closer you are, the more flinch. Next, Juggernaut. Not with how effective it is or anything, but the fact that you can't over-penetrate it. It can tank a golden gun shot, which that's a bit ridiculous, don't you think? Golden gun can kill a striker mid-Fist of Havoc, but can't over-penetrate a Juggernaut shield. I feel like there needs to be some changes made there. And now for tracking grenades. I think that the range at which they can target and the distance that they can track is a bit much. If someone is behind a wall, they shouldn't be tagged by it. Force the people using tracking grenades to have more accurate throws because they seem to have too much of a handicap. Also, I don't believe that Shade Step should cancel tracking. Having kind of an easy button / get out of jail free card to get out of something that would otherwise take you out of a gunfight for 7 to 10 seconds due to trying to avoid it is a little bit nonsense unless there's a similar mechanic available for all classes or subclasses. And finally, and this may be a little bit nitpicky, but I think that the special ammo economy should be restored slightly. I don't think that it should be as scarce as it is currently. No, I don't want people running around with their matadors all game long and having 1 or 2 extra crates around the map wouldn't hurt. In year 1, there were, I believe, 6 crates per game, or per special ammo spawn, and they would give a ridiculous amount of ammo per box. With special ammo boots or a chest piece with Field Scout on Fellwinter's Lie would grant 12 shots. I think bumping up the amount of boxes per spawn and still getting the same amount of ammo that people would get currently is an acceptable way to allow people to use their special weapons throughout the entirety of a game and not feel like they're at such an extreme disadvantage like I know I do whenever I run out. And I think that's going to be it for me. Those are all the changes that I would make to balance guns and make the Crucible more enjoyable for me. If you have an idea of what you would do to rebalance the Crucible, share your thoughts down below in the comment section. And remember, if you enjoyed, to press that like button and hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Take care.
Stop for nothing. You ignited the rift. Good work, runner. Fight forever, Guardian! Double kill. The spark is available. Defend your runner. Your runner is advancing. Allies have your back. Your team has ignited the enemy rift. Charging the spark. Spark ready. Take it. Your runner has the spark. Runner approaching the rift. Runner down. Spark charging. The spark has arrived. Taken the spark. Get to the rift. Victory imminent. Run the spark. Well played. Rift ignition never smelt so sweet.